Welcome back to IP Farms. Well, hopefully the sun's not in your eyes too bad. I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer up front. This is going to be a talking video. I've done a few of them. I babbled on for, seems like hours sometimes on a video, but that's what this was going to be about. We're in the car right now. May end up all in the car, but I've got several things to tell you, and I don't really know the format to do that the best way, so just mounted the camera, and we're headed down the road right now to go look at a piece of equipment. So, interest you, I would appreciate you sticking around, because there's a lot of information going to be divulged, but if you just can't do it, I totally understand. So, that being said, I mentioned in the last video that we had major changes coming to the farm. Changes for the positive. We, of course, got the tractor stuck for the second time, and it just kind of took the wind out of my sail that particular day. And it's hard enough, believe it or not, for me to sit in front of the camera and talk. I can do it, and then I'll say something out of the way, and I've got to start all over. Anyway, wasting time. The major change that's coming to the farm is we are going to venture down the road with row crops again. If you've been with me from the start of the channel, you know that that is my ultimate dream, and was when I started this reclaim process, was to raise corn and soybeans and maybe anything else, you know, along those lines. Due to a lot of circumstances, we just had to, you know, set that dream to the side, mainly finances, where to sell the products, storage, transportation, you know, and just all out input costs. But recently I have talked to a couple of people, and actually talked to a good friend of mine that I went to high school with. Him and his dad still farm. I asked him, like, hey man, where do y'all take your stuff? You know, how far do you have to go? Because my understanding was the closest place I could find was like an hour and a half one way. And he rattled off a couple of places, and I'm like, really? So, cutting that story way short, corn sales is less than 2 or 3 miles from the farm. I mean, that is a huge game changer. And small grains, wheat, soybeans, things like that, are probably 25 to 30 miles from the farm. So that is very, very, very doable, for lack of better words, in my operation. Because, guys, I'm not going to have, I mean, I think I figured the other day with what I've got cleared right now that I could actually plant. I mean, we're looking at somewhere around 10 acres. So I'm not going to have much at all of anything, but it's my dream. So what that does is it puts new life back into the possibility of row crops. Well, to do that, it takes a certain kind of equipment to do row crops. You all know that, which Nelson has sold. Most of that stuff was 2 steps out of the scrapyard anyway, so I didn't really lose a whole lot. It enabled me to put that money towards other things that I've needed to get to this point. So the major things that I don't have, again, are combine and a planter. We've got the drill. I know what, you know, I need to do to the drill to make it perfect. So soybeans can go in with the drill, wheat can go in with the drill, oats can go in with the drill, anything else, small grains can go in with the drill. So that only leaves, I need a corn planter. Well, they're very expensive around my area, very expensive for anything that is useful. So I finally found one. I actually didn't. A friend of mine that was over 1,000 miles away was helping me look, and he found one. Talked to the gentleman the other night, super nice, very reasonable for what it is. It's old, but field ready. Just planted with it last year, all season. He's just kind of switching over completely to all no-till. So we're on the way to look at that. I'll try to get a little footage, maybe a picture or 2 of it if I can. And then after that, we're going to look at another combine. And yes, guys, I can't afford John Deere's or International combines, so we're probably going to be going back with a gleaner. Went and looked at one yesterday, actually, and fell in love with it. It was a big F2 diesel hydro, 13-foot head, flexible cutter bar. It was a cat's meow, if you will, but been sitting a long time. Has several major issues that scare me, and I do not need any more projects. I'm getting older. Time is of the essence. I see that, and if I can spend just a little bit more, or maybe do away with some of the creature comforts and get something that is more field ready, than to have the dream of, oh, you know, I'll have air conditioned cab for a change, or, you know, big machine, whatever. I don't need it. I said it, 10 acres. So we're kind of going backwards on the whole combine thing. We're going to look at a older gleaner combine than what the K was, but it's got a nice grain head with it that's field ready. It's got 2 corn heads with it. I'm not sure on the spacing yet because my planter is a certain space, and I'll explain that later. But we're going to go see, and both of them are pretty local. This combine is something that, you know, I can move with a gooseneck, or I can have my cousin move on his 8-foot wide trailer. So stay tuned, guys. We'll see what happens. We're about 5 minutes into babbling so far. I'm sure there'll be more talking, but I'll try to get you a little bit of footage. But, you know, keep your fingers crossed. I know that I go up and down with my pathways, I guess, in the farm adventure, but this is really a huge game changer to me. I've said that already, but oh, and transportation, I was going to say that. I worried myself sick over that for the last 4 or 5 days, but I failed to realize that I have a running, operable dump truck, and it wouldn't take a whole lot to put that back on the road. Clear title to it. You know, I could fab up a tailgate for the back. I'm not going to have huge amounts of grain to haul, so that could be a very good possibility. All this may go south again for whatever reason. The stuff I'm going to look at may be junk and maybe back to square one. But I've got a plan in motion in my head. I wrote down in a notebook with these ideas. We're going to try to stick to it as it comes along. I'll divulge as much as I can. So stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, we're going to wrap this up and call it good. Did turn out quite different what I anticipated when we first started babbling the other day on the video, talking about the new big plans. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that journey with me. We're going to give it another attempt. Like I said before, a lot of game changing things have been found out and happening. I did purchase the planter. I'll show you that field ready unit, ready to go, planted last year, so we don't have any issues there. Just got to get it home. Stay tuned for that video. And the combine, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get. It's been sitting for a little while. Of course, in a building, we're going to get it running, do whatever we need to do there, and check it out and go from there. But it's got a lot of parts and pieces with it that I like. So we're going to see what happens on that aspect. Didn't mean to get so much making hay today. I know you all see me do that, but or cutting rather, but kind of bittersweet. We're going to keep that one field. We call it Jack's old field. As in hay, I'll probably see if I can get a no-till drill from the co-op this fall and overseed some stuff in it. It's really nice, and I might put a few, inputs on it, keep some good hay, get some horse quality stuff. The rest of it, of course, will be in row crops, wheat and soybeans and corn and all that stuff as we progress and go along. But we'll still be baling because that's one goal that I have, is to get the straw byproduct out of the wheat and oats and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. We'll wrap this one up. I might get some of the raking and baling on the other one, and we'll talk more about it on another day. But really appreciate everybody being here. Hope you continue to follow on the journey with me. Thank you for all the support. Continue kind words and inspiration. It's amazing. We're going down a new road again. We're going to see what happens, so keep your fingers crossed for me, and you guys will be up to date on it as things unfold. So see what happens over the next couple of days. Until then, thank you.